Ladies and gentlemen, yes, it's your man, otherwise known as the Regal. Hello and good evening. Ladies and gentlemen, today's topic, M.C Hammer, or Hammer, as he has later been known. But before we get into the topic of one of our greatest entertainers and something that we probably will never ever see again, hit that subscribe button, do like, and comment, and let's get it started, as one would say. Coming at you live from the Big Lip Radio Podcast in NWDC, I say hello. And of course, good evening. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into this topic today. We're going to do a little bit of revisionist history today, ladies and gentlemen. And today's revisionist history is M.C Hammer was one of the greatest that we have ever seen and we ever will probably see. If you saw an M.C Hammer concert, even back then now, you probably would have been like, man, who in God's name is this? Man, he had 30 people on stage dancing in the crowd, doing his thing, handling his business. He was the shit, period. For some strange reason, our culture, when you reach a certain standard or a certain height, we like to hate on you. M.C Hammer, I'm going before You Can't Touch This. This is before You Can't Touch This. BYC, touch this. Okay? I'm talking about the Let's Get It Started. I'm talking about all that. That's what I'm talking about. Let's get it started. Let's get it started. Now look, he came out on some like Run DMC. Hammer is the and I'm a no, and that is don't. Let's get it started. That was the rate that Run DMC was rapping in 84, 83, 84, where Run DMC dropped. You know what I'm saying? They beautiful album that went like quadruple platinum. You understand what I'm saying? That was 84 when Run DMC dropped that shit. For some strange reason, the way that they was rapping, it didn't trickle down to the South at all, but it trickled out west, and it trickled out to Oakland, and it trickled out to MC Hammer. And Hammer was, if you go back, you listen to the rhyme styles, because I'm real big on rhyme styles. He was rhyming just like Run DMC. And even Let's Get It Started was the shit. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of hits he had before You Can't Touch This. But we about to get into You Can't Touch This in a minute. Okay? But what I'm trying to say is this, and give Hammer his flowers right now. MC Hammer was one of the greatest entertainers that hip hop has ever seen. Probably one of the greatest entertainers that hip hop has ever seen. And I put Hammer up there with Big Daddy Kane. I'm talking about in terms of a show. Big Daddy Kane, it's Hammer, it's Big Daddy Kane, it's Kanye West, period. I ain't never seen no show like that. You understand what I'm saying? Years passed, Hammer got successful. Hammer had a shoe deal. Hammer had a doll, an action figure. Okay? Hammer was dealing with Pepsi. Okay? Hammer was, bruh, you name it. He had the cartoon show. He had every damn thing. And he even had someone who mimicked him. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I think we all know who that is. Hey, man, if you can mimic him, do it just right. New Edition, five black boys from Boston. New Kids on the Block, 5 white boys from Boston. MC Hammer, dancing his ass off and rapping. Vanilla Ice, white boy dancing his ass off and rapping. Unfortunately, you know, even the powers that be couldn't mimic NWA. NWA was unmimicable. But that's a great segue for what I'm about to say and the next level of what I'm about to say. Ice Cube, if you remember, put out a record called True to the Game where he was dissing Hammer. A Tribe Called Quest put out one of their biggest hits. Check the Rhyme where they diss Hammer. All these people dissed him for being exactly who he was, an entertainer. He wasn't the best rapper in the world. Nah. He wasn't comparable to Ice Cube. He wasn't comparable to MC Ren. He wasn't comparable to Rakim. He wasn't comparable to even Big Daddy Kane. He wasn't comparable to any of those rappers at that particular time. But he did his damn thing. He had everything. I think he even had a breakfast cereal, goddamn. But what I'm trying to say is that our culture demonized him for doing exactly what he was doing. Our culture sat there and was like, nah, we tired of him. And why? Shit, 30 years later, you look at a boy right now with all that opportunity, man, he run to it. All that money that Hammer was making and all them people that he was helping, he went broke. Yeah, I know. Now remember, this is right when You Can't Touch This came out. When You Can't Touch This came out, You Can't Touch This was a huge urban hit in the black community. Yes, it was. We made You Can't Touch This to where it is. Now when You Can't Touch This got too big for its britches and it became a pop record, that's when brothers started to hate. That's when the culture started looking at them like, too many white people dancing to this. Too many white people enjoying this. You see, dog, we got to stop that shit. You understand what I'm saying? Now, I understand keeping the culture pure and trying to do everything that we can do. But nah, man, we got to revisit this MC Hammer shit. And guess what? After all the disses and everything, after the big, huge success of You Can't Touch This and everything that he was doing, MC Hammer, I remember in the early 90s, it was BBD, it was MC Hammer, and it was Bobby Brown. In New Jack Swing, Rex and Effects, Teddy Riley, Guy, it was them. I'm talking about 88, 89, 90, 91. That's it. And can't forget the Bobby Brown. But what I'm saying is that looking at our culture, we cannot. I can understand if somebody is cooning. I can understand if somebody up there dancing for a piece of chicken. Man, Hammer wasn't doing that shit. Man, this dude was powerful, man. Hammer was out there trying to help his people, trying to help his community. And he got demonized for the shit. Everybody, it's almost like Hammer was a side note. Oh, well, you know, he lost all his money. He didn't lose all his money. You understand what I'm saying? MC Hammer, even though he went bankrupt, he still had enough money to do what he had to do. And guess what? Even after all the disses, after the craziness, the backlash that MC Hammer was going through and the things that he was doing, he still had a good career. Came back with It's All Good, dissing Ice Cube and them for dissing him, and It's All Good. This shit still went like platinum 2 million. It's all good and pumps in a bump. Pumps in a bump. We like the girls with the pumps in a bump. Hey, pumps in a bump. Pumps in a bump. We like the girls with the pump. Was the shit. Hear me? Now, Too Legit to Quit. You don't throw rocks at the throne, young man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, he ain't had to diss Michael. He ain't had to diss Michael because Michael still was popping at that time. And we was like, all right, well, let me use I think he was like, well, you know what? Let me use this hip hop magnetism, this hip hop beef to see if I could beef with one of the greatest entertainers of all time. Not just one of the greatest hip hop entertainers of all time. And he went at Michael, he pretty much fell flat on his face. Too Legit to Quit was cute. And it had a crazy positive message. And that's one of the things that Hammer did. He put out these positive messages that the powers that be I don't think like too much. You see, around 91 and 92, anybody who has studied the game knows that 91, 92, 93 was an extremely pivotal moment in hip hop history. And what that was gangster rap music. Gangster rap music came, killed New Jack Swing. Gangster rap came and killed New Jack Swing. And I think one of the reasons why is because, man, most of them gangsters ain't gonna be dancing. They didn't look at it as dancing as like, you know, gangster. But shooting up and doing drive-bys and doing skits. Yeah, Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg, yeah, I said it. Let's be real. I deal with nothing but fact on this Big Lip Radio podcast. And that was fact. When Snoop and them came along, that changed everything. You had to be hard. You had to be this and that. So that ended. And dudes wasn't dancing no more. Everything was gangster. Everything was, you know, had to wear baggy jeans. You had to be sagging. You had to look like you was from jail or some shit. And that ultimately killed the dancing. And that's what you see today. I haven't seen nobody come out the blue talking about they dancing and doing all this and all that. It's been a while. Puff did it, but I really wouldn't call what Puff was doing dancing like type shit. That shit was almost like two-step-ish. But anyway, I really wanted to give MC Hammer his flowers and let people know he was one of the greatest damn entertainers that we had. And we shouldn't hate on him. We should give him his flowers. BET give him his flowers. MTV give him his flowers. The American Music Awards give this man his flowers. Because he was one of the best. Don't forget to subscribe. Go back and look at some of MC Hammer's catalog or Hammer's catalog, and you see exactly what I'm talking about. Man, this dude was from another planet. This is your man, Regal Tone T, signing off with a big lip ass kiss to those who hate and those who love. Signing off. Thank you.